So we've got another video going on today, YouTubers. We get a lot of questions, and I see them all the time, of how to clean out a crankcase on one of these. As you know, that these tractors are 70, some are 80 years old. They have some sludge in them, and that is because a lot of times these have been ran most of their lives on non-detergent oil. Detergent oil, regular detergent oil, which is what's used in a modern vehicle, sorry I don't look my best today. Regular detergent oil keeps particles and dirt suspended into it, A, to be ran through the oil filter, and B, it'll get carried out whenever you drain the oil. Non-detergent was meant to have the dirt and everything settle at the bottom, and the clean oil stays on top to lubricate. So it turns into sludge. My brother's one. Anyways, so there's a big debate going on whether you should even run regular detergent oil in these before you clean them out. And it's a huge debate. It causes fights. People say you should just stick to non-detergent, blah, 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 blah. And a lot of that's because of the fear that detergent oil will loosen a lot of the sludge up, clogging your oil passages, and you run into bigger problems. And I tend to agree with that. If you know... Thanks for the drink. Shut up. I'm being made fun of. So if you know what's been ran in it, and usually the best thing is if you have a tractor you've just bought, and you know what's been ran in it, and you can talk to the previous owner, the best thing is just to run what they ran. In this case, we don't know what he ran. We got into it. This motor's a little sludgy. It's sludgier than the last couple tractors I've owned, which leads me to believe that they've kept running non-detergent oil in it, even though there were service bulletins put out years ago that it was safe to run detergent. So what I'm doing today is I'm cleaning out the crankcase with a little bit of gasoline. I do not recommend using gasoline due to safety concerns with the vapors and spark and causing, a fire and all that. It just happened to be what my brother had on hand, and so I used just a little bit of it. Don't bitch me out. You're not going to use that till the spring, and by then it'll be bad anyways. I highly recommend kerosene, because kerosene is a good solvent. It doesn't have an oily residue like diesel does. Diesel would work too, which is actually what I would normally use because it's cheaper than kerosene. So, yeah. So to go about doing this, as you see, all the oil and everything's been drained. You don't have to break your tractor down this far, trust me. In order to do this, what I recommend doing is normally, you'd have your governor and everything over here. I would remove your crankcase cover, drain all your oil, remove your filter, which I've not done in this case because it's going to get changed out anyways. And to your best ability, if it's really sludgy, try and let some of it drain out, and then use like a little scraper. I think I folded like a piece of cardboard in half or something and just kind of scraped it down to the drain hole and drained it into that bucket there. Next, you'll want to drain, or you'll want to put whatever solvent you want to use into it. In this case, gasoline. Once again, I wouldn't do it, but it was what I had on hand. I strongly recommend kerosene or diesel. And then you just put some in. And I've got just kind of a stiffer paintbrush here that I found laying around. It's gonna be clean. I'll buy you a new one. And then you just reach in here and just kind of brush everything. Me, I have the access hole for the crankshaft here. So I'm just, I'm just kind of stirring it around. There was some buildup left on the bottom. I'm cleaning off the oil pump. That's the top of the oil pump right there. That screen on the oil pump on this thing was fairly clogged up. You clean off your pipes. anywhere where you can get to, and keep rinsing that brush out into that your solvent, whatever you may have, and do that. I don't recommend, and I've heard of guys doing it. I can't personally recommend it. They'll actually, in order to flush their whole system out, which by the whole system, I mean the whole oiling system, the pump, oil lines, your rockers and everything. Because as you can see, my rockers are pretty dirty. I haven't decided what I want to do with them yet. But a lot of guys will run they'll put several gallons of diesel or kerosene and run it through their whole system for a couple minutes, and then shut their tractor off, let everything drain back down, and drain the oil. I don't recommend that because that's not good on your bearings. Even if you don't let the tractor get hot, it is not good on your bearings. So I recommend doing it this way. As for this, I might have to remove the carburetor, but I might just end up taking the valve cover off and kind of just doing a basic rinse off of everything up there, because I do advocate using detergent oil in these, and that's because it's a better oil by far. They have better additives. It's going to keep stuff cleaner. People may disagree with me, and that's okay, because the oil argument is as big an argument as these are old. So I will be running probably Rotella 1540 in it because of the zinc content in it. I do like for these old engines. I'm a mechanic by trade, so I know what it is, and Rotella is not a bad oil. So but other guys have just ran regular, like Pennzoil or Valvoline. My good buddy who owns the 41, I think he's told me, Brian, don't shoot me if I get this wrong, I think he's told me he's just ran like Dollar General, like cheap non-detergent in it, and that's his choice. That's fine. That's what these were made to run. But that's my personal preference, and because I know that this engine's in pretty rough shape sludge-wise, I prefer to go ahead and rinse it off and run the good stuff in it, which is going to be better for it. Now the other argument we get is because these are Babbitt bearings instead of modern bearings, is that Babbitt is quite a bit softer than your normal automotive bearing. The argument is that detergent oil is going to carry your dirt around in your system. It's going to get into your bearings and get ground into it and cause basically faster bearing wear. And my argument for that is, A, you have a filter that's supposed to be keeping the bulk of the larger damaging particles out of it. It's what your filter is supposed to do. And B, you shouldn't be running your oil until it's black as Satan's soul. Anyways, I'll change my oil depending on if I've run it a lot the year before. If I've not run it a lot and worked it a lot, I'll change it once a season easily. Other times I'll change it twice a season. And that's my preference. And that's also because you get fuel contamination from leaky carburetors and needles and seats. As you know, these John Deeres, everything is upwind of the crankcase, so it all goes down there. And then you have condensation from it sitting a while, which this thing had. Its oil was a little bit milky. Not too bad, but a little bit. So I know that it's from condensation and sitting. So, I mean, at least once a year, twice a year if you're using it quite a bit, change the oil. And that's also going to help prolong the life of everything. So that's my little how-to, my little video for how to clean these out, and that's my recommendations. You can take them if you will. You may have your own opinions. That's fine and dandy. I'm not saying I'm right or wrong. I'm saying everyone has their own opinion, and this is how I do it. And it hasn't failed me yet. So, thank you for watching.
Fuck your recommendations!
Have a nice day.